Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the national integration. Okay. This is the topic on which we have been discussing right now. All right. And within this topic, these all are the subtopics we have scheduled for the discussion. Like starting with the introduction part. Okay. Thereafter the meaning of national integration. Thereafter the aims of national integration. Thereafter the roles of various factors in promoting the national integration. Thereafter the obstacles to the national integrations. What are the obstacles? National Integration Council and National Foundation for Communal Harmony. Okay. So these are the topics that were basically scheduled for the discussion. All right. Out of this, we have done with the introduction part. We have done with the meaning of national integration. We have done with the aims of national integration. We have done with the roles of various factors in promoting the national integration. And we have done with the obstacles to the national integration. Okay. So these are the topics we have completed so far. The topic we are left with is the National Integration Council and the National Foundation for the Communal Harmony. Out of these two topics, National Integration Council is a topic we have been discussing. All right. So I hope you have revised the previous lecture in the well enough manner before you have come for this lecture. As many times I have told you, that is for your own benefit. If you are doing this on the regular basis, thing will be beneficial for you. If not doing this on the regular basis, the thing will be hard for you. That is a clear-cut truth. So let's start with this lecture. All right. So basically in the previous lecture, we had started the discussion over the National Integration Council. All right. And we had discussed the NIC or the National Integration Council was basically first constituted in the year of 1961 as the decision was taken at the National Conference that had the title of Unity in Diversity. What was the title? The title was the Unity in the Diversity, and that was organized by the central government at the New Delhi. All right. Then we had discussed that basically that constituted the Prime Minister as the chairman, the Union or the Central Home Minister, the Chief Minister of the states, okay, the 7 leaders of the political parties, the chairman of the UGC, 2 educationists, commissioner for SCs and STs, and the 7 other persons that are nominated by the Prime Minister. Okay, so that was the composition of the National Integration Council or the NIC. All right. Now, here is the one thing that you can see over here, that is the UGC. All right. In the previous lecture also, I had told you the full form of UGC. In this lecture, I'm going to ask you the full form of UGC as the question. Okay. So this is the question for all of you. You are required to tell me the full form of UGC. Okay. Within 30 seconds, then I will grant you, and your time starts now. All right, 10 seconds have been crossed. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. So basically, the full form of UGC is the University Grant Commission. University Grant Commission. All right. And as we had discussed that this council was having the task to direct the examination of the problem that comes under the, or you can say comes in the path of the fulfillment of national integration in all aspects and make necessary recommendations to deal with them. Okay. Consequently, the council made various recommendations for the national integration. All right. But whatsoever recommendations the NIC formulated, these recommendations remained only on paper and no effort was made either by the center or by the states to implement them. Okay. So like we can say when the NIC was formulated in the 1961, they met, they discussed the problems that hinders the pace of ours in achievement of the national integration, and accordingly they made the various recommendations. But these recommendations were never being implemented, neither by the center nor by the states. Okay, neither by the center nor by the states they got implemented. In 1968, the central government revived the National Integration Council. Okay, it means after the 7 years, first it was constituted in the 1961. Thereafter, again in 1968, the central government revived the National Integration Council, again accepted it. All right. And not only the council was re-elected, even the size was increased. In the 1961, it had the 39 members. How many members? 39. In 1968, it had the 55 members. All right. It means that basically 17 members were, you can say, increased. All right. 17 members were increased when the council was re-elected in 1968. Okay. And it basically increased the participation of the representatives that belong to the industries, businesses, and trade unions. Why? Because these are the areas where the people who belong to the different segments of the society, who belong to the different religions, different ethnicities and all these people come together for earning their livelihood. All right. And when they are earning the livelihood with common things, so basically they establish the bonds. All right. So that's why the representatives who are running these industries, businesses, and the trade unions that are basically having the people working together for their livelihood. The same thing we want in the national integration. Like the people of different ethnicities that living in this country, they must be united and working together. So they are already doing it. However, they are doing it for the livelihood. But in the national integration, we want it for the national goal. But we could take an idea from them. Okay. So these are the new ones that added in the second NIC in 1968. Because in the first one, these were not in the, you can say the council. All right. These were basically included in the council in the 1968, and that's why the number was increased from 39 to 55. It means 17 more members as the representatives of industries, business, and trade unions were included. Then, in the second time, the council was met at Srinagar. Okay. At the first time where the council met, now this is just we have just seen it. Okay. So this is the question, and 30 seconds you have to think and answer. What was the first meeting place of the first NIC? The 10 seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. So basically for the first time, the council was made up at the New Delhi. Okay. At the second time, they basically met up in Srinagar. And they tried to adopt a resolution condemning all the tendencies that struck at the root of national solidarity. Okay, national solidarity and the national unity is the foremost thing in achieving of national integration. Because until or unless we could not succeed, or you can say until or unless we succeed in sparking of the feeling of belongingness and one's motivation towards the national progress instead of expressing the love to certain things, we won't be able to attain the national integration. And that could only be ensured because of the national solidarity. Okay. So when the second time this council was met, basically they had adopted a resolution, and the resolution is condemning all the tendencies, all the vulnerabilities, and all the potential problems that may struck at the root of national solidarity. Okay, so that we could move forward towards the national solidarity easily. Okay, so here I'm going to ask you the second question. And what is the question? The question is also related with the previous things that we have revised. All right. What was the first committee appointed by the central government in review of reorganization of state on the linguistic basis? Or let me short it. On the the reorganization of states on the basis of language was reviewed by which committee for the first time? You have 30 seconds to think and answer. All right, then I will give you the answer. Your time starts now. Ten seconds have been passed off. Last 20s are remaining. Last 10 seconds. All right, the time's up. So the correct answer is Dhar committee. All right. That was basically appointed. So the second NIC appealed to the political parties, organizations, and the media to mobilize the constructive forces in the society. Constructive forces of society in the cause of national unity and the solidarity. So why they were appealing them? Because the political parties, as we have discussed when we talk about the obstacles, so we have discussed the 4 obstacles: regionalism, the communalism, the linguism, and the casteism. All of these barriers, none of them was the barrier which did not have the political cause. All of them had the political cause behind them, right? So that's why the role of political parties are important. Why? Because the political parties are the one which bifurcated these issues at a level for their political gains, that we still facing issues in the national integration. So that's why their participation is required, so that the damage that has been caused to the unity and the solidarity of the nation, that could be recovered. After political parties, the organizations like the the pressure groups, all right, and other organizations that could help us in achieving of national unity and the solidarity. And then the press or the media. Why? Because the press or the media are the one which generally passes the information to the individuals. So if they will only pass the information that is moreover based on the communal violence, communal issues and all, then ultimately the people will start separating from each other. Okay, so that's why the role of press is also important. Okay, it also set up the 3 committees to report on regionalism, communalism, and linguism. So we can say when the second time the NIC was, you can say, revived or appointed. So basically on that time, not only their number was increased, but also they organized the 3 committees that are regionalism committee, the communalism committee, and the linguism committee. Okay, so if the question asks in the examination, during which year or through which NIC the three committees of regionalism, communalism, and linguism was appointed, so the correct answer is second NIC in the 1968. All right, but even after appointed these three committees and making these much of efforts and all, still nothing tangible was achieved. As we know, the tangible and the intangible signifies several things. Like tangible signifies the things that are could be seen, could be touched, could be feel. All right. Now intangible are the things that could not be seen, could not be touched, and could not be feel. Okay. So if the tangible is written here, it means that nothing came out even after this meeting that is tangible or that is visible on grounds and that could be feel and touch. Okay. So in 1980, again the central government revived the National Integration Council. Okay. Like we can say, once it was revived in 1968, then it became the defunction. Okay. So again in the 1980, the government had revived it or reappointed it. At the first time was appointed in 1961, then in 1968, then in 1980. Okay. Even the membership was made more broad-based. Like that had been also, you can say, implemented while the second NIC was appointed. Okay. Like the number were increased for 30, you can say 39 to 55. Even in the third time, the membership was again broad-based. Okay. It had the three items on the agenda for the discussion. Like the first problem that they were discussing was the communal harmony. It means how they could establish the peace amongst the different religious, caste, and other segments of the society. Second one was the unrest in the northeastern region. Like northeastern region consists of various SCs and STs, and these were on the fight from the independence. Okay, that creates the unrest. So how this unrest could be dealt, and the need for the new education system. Why? Because as we know, the education is the best tool in order to promoting the national integration. Got it? Remember this thing. This council set up a standing committee. Now, just tell me what is the difference between the standing committee and the ad hoc committee. I have told you already. What is the difference between the standing committee and the ad hoc committee? 30 seconds you will have to think and answer. Your time starts now. All right, the 20 seconds have been passed off. Last 10 are remaining. Okay, the time's up. So if we talk about it, the standing committees are the permanent committees. All right. The standing committees are the permanent committees, while the ad hoc committees are the temporary committees that are appointed for several purposes. And once the purpose fulfilled, the committees were ceased to exist. All right. So basically, at the third time when the NIC got revived, they focused on the standing committee. It means the permanent committee. Okay. To keep a constant watch on the activities of communal and other divisive forces that could poses a threat to the national unity. Okay, because you can see that there is the gap of years in appointment of the National Integration Council. Like first was in 1961, then second one was in 1968. Almost the gap is of 7 years, right? Then 1980, almost the you can say almost 12 years gap. Okay, so during this phase when there is nothing, no organization that is talking about the integration, there could be you can say the bonding ground for various divisive forces, for various communal forces that could harm our national integration, which we are talking about. Okay, so to remove this kind of situations, the third NIC was basically formulated the standing committee, the permanent committee that will keep a constant watch on the activities on communal basis and the divisive forces that could possess a threat towards the national unity. Okay. Thereafter, in the 1986, the NIC was reconstituted and the membership was further increased. It means that that was the fourth NIC, the fourth National Integration Council. And that was appointed in the year of 1986, 6 years later, the third one. Okay. And when this time it was reconstituted, again, the membership was further increased. The membership was further increased. Okay. But on that time, the things were different. Why? Because in the third council, when the standing committee was appointed to check after the communal violence and other. Okay. On the fourth time when the NIC was appointed, the things getting differed. Why? Because on the third time, they were discussing about the unrest in the northeastern states, insurgency, But basically, when the fourth time they got appointed, terrorism in Punjab was also on the peak. Okay. Like during this time period, various separatist leaders of Punjab, they were demanding the secession of Punjab from the India. All right. For this, they had, you can say, appointed the militant approach. Okay. They were attacking the various government machineries, government forces and all. Okay. And they ultimately targeting the unity, integrity, and other secular ideas of the country. All right. Unity. How? Because India is the union of states and no states is having the right to secede from the country. Why? Because Indian Union is not an, you can say, outcome of any agreement. So if they were trying to separate the Punjab, ultimately they are harming the unity of this country. Integrity, the Punjabis having their own ethnicity, all right, having their own culture and all. Okay. And when we talk about the national integration, basically we talk about the merger of all types of cultures with the country. So if they will try to show them as differ and they will try to keep their community differs, ultimately the integrity of the nation would be in caution and would be in danger. Secular ideas. Why? Because the Punjab, the Khalistanis are demanding. The Punjab are only demanding for the Sikh. Okay, like Punjab for only Sikh. Okay, and Sikh is the religion, and the ideal of secular that we have in the country says that no religion will have the preference over others. Every religion is equal. So, as per the Punjab should be open for each and every religion. Okay, so that's how they are even countering the secular ideals. Accordingly, they passed a resolution to fight the terrorism in Punjab. The council also set up the 21-member committee to function on the continuing basis, okay, and to fighting against the terrorism in Punjab. The committee was asked to formulate both the short-term as well as the long-term proposal for maintaining the communal harmony and preserving the national integrity, and all these things were happened in the fourth council. After the 4 years in the 1990, the National Front government that was headed by the VP Singh, he again reconstituted the National Integration Council, and further the membership was increased to 101. What was the membership? 101. And the composition was like this. Prime Minister was the chairman. Central ministers, some of them were there. State chief ministers were there. Leaders of various national and regional parties were there. Representatives of women commissions were there. trade and industries representatives were there, various academicians were there, the journalists were there, and the important public figures were also invited. Okay, so that was the composition of the fifth NIC: 1961, 1968, 1980, 1986, and 1990. Okay, it had various items on the agenda for discussion, like the terrorism in Punjab, also known as Punjab problem. On the same time, the terrorism was also generating in the Kashmir problem. Thereafter, various Indian states were facing the violence by the secessionists that were demanding the separation of the states from the Union of India. Then the communal harmony amongst the various segments of the society, the Ram Janambhoomi and the Babri Masjid problem at the Ayodhya. That was also on the peak, and that was generating the communal harm between the Hindus and Muslims. But still, during this time also, there was no concrete result. It means that even after constituted the NIC for the fifth time, no permanent, you can say, resolution was generated. In the sixth time, in the year of 2005, the UPA, or the United Progressive Alliance government, again constituted the National Integration Council under the chairmanship of that time Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. Okay, on that time again the strength was increased till up to 103. Member of NIC was constituted after a gap of 12 years, having held its meeting in 1992. Besides some central ministers, state and the UT's chief ministers, leaders of national and regional parties, the NIC included the chairpersons of various national commissions, eminent public figures, the representatives from various businesses, media houses, laborers, and the women were there. All right. NIC was to function as a forum for effective initiatives and interaction on the issues of national concerns, reviews issues relating to the national integrations, and make recommendations also. On the 14th meeting of the NIC that was held in the 2008, the backdrop of communal violence in various states like the Odisha, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Jammu, Kashmir, and Assam were discussed in this. Promotion of the education among the minorities, scheduled caste, and scheduled tribes were discussed. Elements contributing to the national integration and the removal of regional imbalances, the caste and identity divisions, the prevention of extremism, the promotion of communal harmony, and the security amongst the minorities, the equitable development were some of the important topics of the agendas of this meeting. In April 2010, again the UPA, or the United Progressive Alliance government, again reconstituted the NIC under the chairmanship of Manmohan Singh ji. This time it had the 147 members, including the union ministers, the leaders of opposition in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the chief minister of all states, the UTs with legislatures. It also includes the leaders of national and the regional parties, chairpersons of the national commissions, eminent journalists, the public figures, the representatives of various businesses, and women organizations to be the part of this. Okay. The chief aim was suggesting means and ways to combat the menace of communalism, the casteism, and regionalism, like what methods we could acquire to remove these, you can say, diseases from our society. October 2010, the government also constituted the standing committee for the next time, and that committee consisted the Union Home Minister as the chairman, 4 other union ministers, 9 chief ministers of various states, and 5 cooperated members of NIC would finalize the agenda items for the NIC meetings. Okay, in the 15th meeting of NIC was held in September 2011. The agenda for the meeting included the measures to curb the communalism and the communal violence, approach to the communal violence bill, measures to promote the communal harmony, and the measures to eliminate the discrimination, especially against the minority and the scheduled tribes, how the state and the police should handle the civil disturbances, and how to curb the radicalization of youth in the name of religion and caste, because they are going to be the future of this country. The 16th meeting was held on 23 September 2013, and the resolution was passed in the meeting that condemns the communal violence. All measures to strengthen the harmonious relationship between all communities were taken, resolve differences and disputes among the people within the framework of law, condemn the atrocities of scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes, and condemn the sexual abuse, and to ensure that all women enjoy the fruits of freedom to pursue their social and economic development with equal opportunities, and safeguard their right of movement in the public space at any time of the day or night. All right. So this is the flowchart that denotes the National Integration Council's meeting. If we will look at them, we could say first meeting on 2nd and 3rd June 1962, second meeting on 20th and 22 June 1968, third meeting on 12th November 1980, fourth meeting on 21st January 1984, fifth meeting on 7th April 1986, sixth meeting on 12th September 1986, seventh meeting on 11th April 1990, eighth meeting on 22nd September 1990, ninth meeting 2nd November 1991, 10th meeting 31st December 1919, 11th meeting 18 July 1992, 12th meeting 23rd November 1992, 13th meeting 31st August 2005, 14th meeting 13th October 2008, 15th meeting 10th September 2011, 16th meeting 23rd September 2013. Okay, so these were the flowchart of meeting. Now, if we talk about the National Foundation for Communal Harmony, so that was set up in year of 1992. It is an autonomous body under the administrative control of the Union Home Ministry, promotes the communal harmony, fraternity, and national integration. Its vision is India free from communal and other forms of violence, where all citizens, especially the children and youth, live together in peace and harmony. That is the vision. If we talk about the mission, promoting the communal harmony, strengthening the national integration, and fostering the unity through the collaborative social action, awareness programs reaching out to the victims of violence, especially the victims like children, encouraging the interfaith dialogue for the India shared security, peace, and prosperity. Okay. The activities undertaken by the National Foundation for Communal Harmony State to provide the financial assistance to the child victims of societal violence for their care, education, and training aimed at their effective rehabilitation. Promote the communal harmony and the national integration by organizing the variety of activities, either independently or association with the education institutions, the non-governmental organizations, and the other organizations. To conduct studies and grant scholarships to institution scholars for conducting studies, and to confer awards for outstanding contribution to the communal harmony and the national integration. All right. So these were some of the things. So students, basically we have finished the national integration. I hope the things were much clear to you. All right. Kindly revise the lectures in the well enough manner. All right, because this is an important topic, not only from the examination point of view, but also from the society and the country point of view. Okay. So with this note, let's end this lecture and thank you.